Akpan, I know your troubles. I can help you.
Help me? How? I don't know you.
I can make you the greatest fisherman this village has ever seen. But there's a price, a simple price. Meet me under the mango tree at midnight, dance with the spirits, and wear your wife's pant on your head.
What? I don't understand.
You will prosper. Your nets will always be full.
Mama maku, mamaku, 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 mamaku.
The evening air was thick with silence. In the distance, the soft rustle of the leaves in the wind barely disturbed the stillness. The sun had just set, casting an amber glow across the sky. Yet, there was something about this quiet, an emptiness that made the heart ache. Akpan had returned home, but something was wrong. He didn't speak to anyone, nor did he greet his mother. He passed by her hut, his face drawn and distant, as though a heavy burden was holding him captive. On the mat, untouched, sat his food, but Akpan didn't eat. He went straight to their room and fell onto the bed without a word, staring at the ceiling as if he could see something there. A sense of loss hung around him like a dark cloud, and the evening felt unusually heavy. His mother called his name, but Akpan remained silent, the weight of whatever troubled him keeping him in his own world. And that night, when the clock struck midnight, everything changed. Akpan had grown up in poverty, the son of a fisherman who was known across the village for his skill. His father's nets never came back empty, no matter how treacherous the river or how long he stayed out. He was a man of the earth, of the river, and his success was admired by all. But when Akpan's father passed away, the light seemed to go out of their world. His mother, already a widow, struggled to provide for her son. She worked day and night, in the fields and in the kitchen, just to ensure that Akpan never went to bed hungry. The community didn't make it easier. His uncles, who inherited his father's land, abandoned them, and whispers spread that Akpan's mother had caused his father's death through dark magic. Akpan didn't complain. He carried on fishing, just like his father had taught him. Some days, the river was generous. Other days, it was cruel. But he never gave up, driven by his mother's love and the legacy of hard work. Still, life remained difficult. Though he tried, he could never rise above the poverty that had claimed his family. One afternoon, after casting his nets for hours with no luck, Akpan stood by the riverbank, frustration eating at him. That's when the old woman appeared, her presence strange and unsettling, like something out of a dream. "Akpan," she called softly, "I know your troubles. I can help you." Akpan was taken aback. He had never seen this woman before, but she spoke as though she had known him his whole life. "Help me?" he asked, his voice tinged with confusion. "How can you help me?" The woman's eyes glinted with knowledge. "I can make you the greatest fisherman the village has ever known. But there is a price, a simple price. You must come to the mango tree at midnight, dance with the spirits of your ancestors, and wear your wife's pants on your head." Akpan stared at her, unsure of what to make of her words. She continued, "You will prosper, your nets will always be full, and Emem will bear you children, but only if you follow this path." Confused and desperate, Akpan agreed. What did he have to lose? Life had been cruel to him, and maybe this woman had the answer. So, every night, at midnight, Akpan would slip out of the house, unseen by Emem, and go to the mango tree to perform the ritual. Akpan's success began to change overnight. The next day after his midnight rituals, his nets were full. Each morning, he would bring home more fish than anyone could ever imagine, and the villagers marveled at his good fortune. His reputation grew. Akpan, the fisherman, became Akpan, the prosperous man. But while Akpan's wealth increased, his marriage to Emem began to change. Emem had always loved Akpan deeply. She never questioned him, always trusting his word and his love. But soon, she began to notice the distance between them. Akpan's late-night disappearances were becoming harder to ignore. One night, Emem sat by the window, her heart heavy with worry. She had always been patient, but now something inside her stirred a quiet feeling that something wasn't right. She stood up and made her way to the window, glancing out into the moonlit night. That's when she saw him. Under the mango tree stood Akpan, spinning and dancing, but he wasn't alone. 3 figures, cloaked in black, stood around him, and there, on his head, was Time's her Pant. Emem's breath caught in her chest, her heart pounding in her ears. She could feel the earth beneath her feet trembling, but she couldn't look away. With every turn of Akpan's body, her suspicion grew, a sense of fear settling into her bones. She had never questioned Akpan before. He had always been honest with her, even in the hardest of times. But tonight, everything had changed. Akpan, she whispered to herself, her voice shaking. What have you done? The figures, still hidden under their dark hoods, turned toward her as if sensing her presence. Her mother, long dead. Akpan's mother, whose memory still haunted the edges of the village. And another, a face she didn't recognize, but one she knew from old stories told by the elders. These were the spirits of the dead spirits that should never have been summoned. Akpan! Emem called out, her voice rising in fear. But the dance stopped. The spirits turned toward her, and in that moment, everything went still. The air grew cold. The ground beneath them began to shake. The spirits whispered, their voices like the rustling of dry leaves in a forgotten forest. You have seen us, they said, their voices a mix of warning and finality. And now, the magic will be undone. Emem's heart broke as she turned to run, her feet heavy, as if the very earth was pulling her back. But it was too late. The spirits and the mango tree vanished. Akpan, once the pride of the village, was left standing there, lost and alone, as his wealth and success crumbled to dust. The next morning, Akpan awoke to find his nets empty. His once full baskets were now bare. His prosperity was gone, as if it had never existed. He looked around in confusion, unable to understand what had happened. The village that had once admired him now turned away, unsure of what to believe. Emem had left him. The house that had once been full of life now stood empty, the walls silent and cold. Akpan wandered the village, asking around, but no one would speak to him. The woman who had promised him riches never appeared again, and the mango tree remained silent. Akpan continued to fish, not with luck, with the stubborn, ordinary persistence of a man who has nothing left but the doing. He woke before dawn. He walked to the bank. He cast his net. Some days the river gave. More days it gave nothing. It was the old life again, the life before the woman at the trees, before the midnight dancing, before the compound filled with things that cost more than money. He never told anyone what he had done. In the evenings, when the light turned amber and the village grew quiet, he would sit at the edge of the compound and look at the mango tree. He did not go to it. He simply looked at it the way a man looks at a thing he finally understands, now that the understanding has come too late. He never remarried. He grew older at the river, and the village came to regard him differently in those later years, not with the loud admiration of his prosperous days, but with something quieter, something that looks like respect, but is closer to recognition. They saw a man who had learned at great cost how to ask the river honestly for what he needed. Some mornings, he said, he could feel his father's presence on the water. Not summoned, not bargained for. Just there the way a person who loved you stays close, in the small, ordinary moments, without being called. He did not know if Emem ever understood what had truly happened. He had stopped believing it would have changed anything. There are things we break that cannot be repaired. Not because the other person is unwilling to forgive, but because the broken thing changes the shape of both people, and neither can find the way back to who they were before they knew. The mango tree still stands at the edge of the village. Children play near it in the afternoons, when the light is full and generous, and the spirits stay away. But at midnight, ask anyone in that village, no one goes near it. Not because of Akpan, but because of what Akpan taught them about the price of a shortcut. The river gives, the river takes. It does both according to its own understanding, not ours. And the man who reaches in to take more than he has earned, that man should be still for a moment and listen, because the river always notices, and the river never forgets. Akpan's story is a reminder of the price of seeking shortcuts, of gaining what we desire through hidden means. In his desperate quest for wealth and success, Akpan lost everything that truly mattered: his love, his integrity, and his relationship with the spirits that had once protected him. Sometimes, in seeking what we want most, we find that it is the very thing that leads to our downfall. True wealth lies not in material things, but in the love we share, the honesty we keep, and the respect we give to the forces that guide us. This has been a story from Africa Tales Fair, where the old voices are never truly gone. Until next time, take care of the things that cannot be bought back. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.